Hello everyone. I thought I would today do some Christmas cards. I keep meaning to do hand-painted Christmas cards for my family and friends because they do love to get them from me, but I don't often get the time. So I thought I would do this video for you to show you perhaps a simple card that you could do yourself. You gladly follow along. If you do it, I'd love, post it below. I'd love to see if you did have a go at it. These cards I got from a local store in the UK. They come in a pack of 10 with envelopes, and they come from a company called Arrange. I'm sure you'll have something similar in your area, wherever you may be living. They're 6x6 and they come with an envelope, so everything's fine. You can put an insert inside, so if you get some printer paper, you could print your own message on the inside, and then double-sided tape or some glue stick on there and just stick, carefully stick the other part down so you have the folded section inside, so you can write your message rather than actually writing on here. So what I thought I would have a little go at today is a snowman, and I shall lightly sketch it first and then we'll get to the paints. I'm using a Koh-i-Noor 0.5 automatic pencil. I've got my paints here. Oops. There we are. My paints are here. I have my 3 brushes. These are from Rosemary & Co. I've got a 2, a 4 and a 6. I may only just use one of them. I might use all of them. It depends how I get on. They're lovely brushes. They've got a nice point. They hold plenty of water and paint. So that's those. I have my small tin of paints. These are my colours that I like to use. Can't for the life of me remember what the colours are, but they're the ones I like to use. They're actually Winsor & Newton professional paints, and I've got 2 little pots of water. They're these little jam jars that you get if you go and have afternoon tea or something, and they've got jam or honey or something in, marmalade, and then I usually bring them home when I've used them. So right, so let's get started. I'm going to have a go. I'll just move that over there. At a snowman. So I quite like these little fellas, but it's just getting the shape right, so let's have a go. So I'm just going to lightly sketch him on here. I'm not very good at sketching, I would say. I can always, if you do this yourself, do it lightly, because if you press too hard you may end up embossing the card. So I'm only really just sort of stroking the pencil over the top of the card, just to get those marks on there. I can rub out the marks that we don't need once I've done. And give him a fringe on his scarf. I'll give him a few buttons, if we can see them. Right, now his nose. This is the thing I always have trouble with. Right, where's my eraser? Oh. Should have got this out earlier, sorry folks. Oh, here it is. I use one of these for this sort of thing. It's a Tombow Mono Zero, and the eraser is like a pencil, and you can sort of push it out and do so. You can get out the amount you need, and it's ideal for small areas. You can get refills for it. I've actually just put a refill into this, and I love it. I think it's great because it allows you to go in and just rub out those small little bits that you might not want in your drawing. You know, I don't know if you're like me, but I do these drawings and I end up with lines all over the place, and I just then have to erase the ones that I don't want. There we go, that looks a bit better. Where's my pencil? Right, let's just finish him off. Right, this is the bit I always struggle with, his nose, because I like it to be a bit pointy. There we go. I'll just rub that line out there. There we go. So I think that's too high. It doesn't look as if he's got an eye there. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise, but that's my neighbour in his garden. Let's come down here a bit. Oh no, I don't like that. I'll be at this for ages, you know, until I get this right. Go make yourself a cup of tea. I might be a while. Let's try that. That still don't look right, but there we go. Don't like his eyes now. Give him a smile to start with. That might help. No. There. Got there in the end. Right, good, so that can come around there and we can have a little fuzzy ball and put him on something. Okay, so I think we're all okay now. I'm often asked about painting snow, and I know there's white acrylic you can use and all, you know, white gouache, but I honestly, for me, leaving the paper white and painting the shadows works much better. I don't know how you would deal with it, but I find that works so much better for me, as with any particular, you know, white colour that I might want to use or indicate that it's there. Anyway, let's make a start, and I think I shall start with, I think we'll give him a red hat. Right, so I've got a nice red here. This is this colour. Let me see that. This colour is Scarlet Lake, and I just absolutely love it. Right, so I'm going to try and keep within the lines, but I'm not desperate if I'm not. The only thing I find with this card is it's that smooth. The paint just sits on the top, so it's not really that ideal for, just make that a bit on the edge there. Paint, watercolour paint really. Oh dear, knock that up. Okay, so I'm just going to lift a little bit off so we can have a reflection and a bit of light there. And I'm going to give him a red scarf as well, so we can paint that in. I do tend to use a lot of water with my watercolours, and sometimes they can take a long time to dry. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate and talk at the same time, which may not always work well. Right, so go across there and then come down. And that's not particularly warm here in the studio today. I paint in a summer house in my garden, which is, it's lovely, but unfortunately sometimes it gets a bit chilly in the winter, and sometimes it gets a bit too hot in the summer. So it's all a bit of a confusion. There we go. So right, so that's fairly straightforward. I hope you didn't see the top of my head when I was painting that. So he's now got a white body. This area here, that's a fluffy hat, so I can either turn it into a fluffy hat or we can have a knitted hat, but we'll make something a bit fluffy out of that. And he's got a white fluffy bit there. He's got black buttons. He's going to have an orange nose, so I think we'll do that now. So I'll take a bit of this sort of yellow and I'll just pick up a bit of that red that was there, and we've now got a very nice orange, which will make a very nice carroty nose for him. If you can get a brush that has a nice point like this, it will allow you to get some nice edges and a nice little bit of a point there. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the size 2 brush. That was a 4 I was using. I want to try and put some blue in here, so I'm not quite sure what my colours are. So what's that? Oh, that looks like indigo. I think we'll use this one, which is much nicer. So I'll make it fairly thin colour. If you have any doubts, you can check it on a piece of card or spare piece of paper, which I have here. You can check your colour and see if that's the sort of colour you want, which is fine. Just put a bit more water with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep away from that red, because I think that's still a little bit wet at the moment, and I'm just going to put in some little fluffy looking effect. So now he's got a pom-pom, and we're now going to work our way around his little hat. So all I'm doing really is just, I've loaded my brush up and it's all just little flicks to give it like a fluffy effect on his hat. There we go. I shall pop in a little bit of dark, put a bit of red in there just to make that more purpley. There we go. And that could be like a shadow, so we can put a bit darker bits under here. Don't worry if they merge in, because that will add all to a little bit of interest in your work. And I'll use that same colour again with the 2 brush and just put a few little darks in and around that there. Good. Right, so we now need some blue to shape his body. So I might use the 4 for this, because I don't want to be too tight with it. I just want to be sort of loosish. And I shall use, I don't know what that colour is. Oh yeah, I might use that. Right, I'll use this. This is French Ultramarine, which is sort of a warmish blue. It's sort of like a violet-y blue. It's really quite nice. So I'm now going to, I think I need to add more water. I want it fairly thin because I don't want it too powerful. Let's have a little look. Yeah, that should be all right. So I'm now going to go shape his arms, and I'm pressing down with the paintbrush to get various shapes. Oh, sorry about if you can hear the drill. That's my husband. It looks like he's cleaning up the barbecue to put it away for winter. Right, to get the shapes, you can, with your brush, press it down, wiggle it, and then you can come up to a fine line, and you can get, you know, smudgy marks. So, you know, you've got this, you don't have to paint with the tip all the time, you know, as if you're writing with a pen. Also, if you hold your brush further away, it makes for a more of a loose brush stroke. In other words, you haven't got as much control over the brush, whereas if you come down here as if you're writing with a pen, you've got more control over what you can do with it. Whereas up here, to try and do like those fine lines, it's hard because you're right at the end, so you've got more freedom, more loose painting. I hope that makes sense. It's but above all, you can't beat practice. These little things here are nice to practice with. I mean, practicing is one of the best things you can do. Right, and if you get something nice at the end of the day, better still. So we've got a nice little fat bit there. We can have a bit come down here, so we've got that. We'll do a little bit, oh, it's up here. Oh, get the right colour, Ruth. And then we need some on his face. Now, you need to be careful, don't want to overdo it, because we don't want him to, so just round the outside of his face, perhaps a little bit along there. Right. And then we can just have a bit down here as well, I think. There we go. Don't really like that bit there. I'm just going to see if I can just dab that bit a bit. There we go. Just lifted that off a little bit. I want to give him some pink cheeks, and I've been and stuck a bit of blue where I want. There we go, that's a bit better. Right, so we've got those. Now I'm going to mix up a darker colour. I think this is, yeah, that looks like indigo. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So using the number 4, I've just mixed up this colour here, which is an indigo, and I'm just going to do his buttons. So, okay. I suppose in reality there'd be lumps of coal, so it doesn't matter whether they're round or not. Okay, and I can probably put some dots in for his eyes. The idea, if you've got a brush that has got a nice point, it's ideal for doing, you know, things like that. I'll put his face, his smile in later. I shall probably use a black pen for that, and some of the other markings on there just to bring the colour out. Now, I think that's dried. Now his scarf is dried, but it just looks as if it's just a lump. So what we're going to do is mix up a shadowy sort of colour, a bit like I did before. But use it as a, I can just get this colour right. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Right, let's just try this colour. Not sure about that. Let's see. This is permanent rose, and I want to try and get. Let's try that. Still too blue. Just want to knock it back a bit. Don't want to use that because I wonder what that in the brown would look like. And then a bit of that. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's more like it. Right, so what I want to try and do is to create a shadowy colour. So if you can see here, that is what I want to create. So that was permanent rose with a bit of this brown, which is burnt sienna, and a bit of this blue, which I think is Windsor blue, blue shade, green shade. Right, so let's see. So what I'm going to try and do is create a little bit of a shadow effect under there, like that, and a bit of a shadow effect down here, and then we've got those little tassel-y bits that can go in there, and we can have a bit of a shadow over here and shadow across there where it's all tucked into his neck, and a bit under here. Right, good. And also with that shadowy bit, I think I shall put some shadowy marks along here as well. There we go. So what we've got here is we've got quite a few layers. We've got 3 layers. We've got the pale blue, we've got that slightly darker blue, and then we've got this darker shade here. Now his cap went up and it folded over, if you remember, so we need to show where that is. So we can put a line down there for the fold. And then we can put a few of these little dark wispy bits in amongst that as well. There we go. Right, I think we're nearly there. We need to stand him on something because at the moment he looks as if he's sort of floating in the air. And I'll do a bit of snow. So I'm using the 4, and what I'm going to do is he's under here, come along, press and lift up, and a few little wiggles. And if you feel you want to turn the card around, we can do the same under here, up that corner and press a few little wiggles, and there he is, he's got his snow. Right, so we now need to just let that dry, and when it's dry I'll come back to you. Right, so he's more or less dry now. I didn't put any cheeks in, I might put them in later. So I'm going to take my black pen and just move that to one side, and I think we'll have these circled. There's some shadows under those, so I'll put them in later. We can go over the scarf if we want to. So that comes around there, around here, and a bit curved there, and then it comes under here. There we go. So that's his scarf done. With his nose, I'm just going to have to mind I don't, it's a little bit damp down here, so just be careful. So I can come along here and under there, and if you look at carrots, they've sort of got lines on them, so I shall put some few little lines on his nose. His eyes are fine. We can do the outline on the hat if we want. You can outline all of him if you want to. I'll put his smile in. And if you want to go around the outside, we can do so. In fact, I probably will do that. I mean, he's not I haven't done him, his lines aren't straight, and then we can go around the hat. There we go. And what shall we do? What else can we do? Shall we put a few little, give him some little pink cheeks? That'll be this colour, which is Permanent Rose. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. I'm using the permanent, oh, not that one, Permanent Rose. Not too strong. Again, just check it on your card if you need to. Yeah, that looks okay. And just give him some little round pink cheeks. Can't see the other one. perhaps a little bit under there. And we could do some spattering. Put some little bits of blue in. Let me just get need a bit of a tissue to protect him a little bit. That might be a bit too big. Just lay that on the top there. Right, so if we mix up some blue, don't know what colour we had on that brush, and just flick, oh, perhaps not, and flick, 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 flick. Take that off, and there we go. Oh, if you get any blobs on your work, just get a tissue and just gently dab them off, and that'll be fine. There we go, another Christmas card. And again, you can put your insert in if you like. So that's another one for Christmas, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a few more of these, so you'd be able to get to see them, and if you want to copy them, you're more than welcome to. If you do, I'd love to be able to you know, just let me know and how you got on with it. So there we go. Let him dry off completely, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye.